What's up, guys? We're back with another video. I hope you guys liked the trailer ramp video. The trailer turned out really badass. If you haven't watched it, go back in and check it out. I'm sure you could tell behind me there's another trailer project that just landed in here, guys. We got a 20-foot box trailer. Let's do a little walk around, see what's going to go on with this thing. So he removed all the flooring and side paneling on the inside, which is nice for us, because our main objective is going to be rewiring in all of his lights all the way around. There are some roof lights. There's going to be obviously the rear round lights here in the back along the bumper. He wants to pull those out, put the new style in. Let's walk up here a little bit. I'll show you guys a little bit more what's going on. Trailer electrical and wiring is one of the things I like to do the most, which kind of benefits me because I've noticed a lot of people really don't like doing trailer electrical wiring, running electrical for lights and pinning it up. And they sure as hell don't like to decipher all of the colors, like on this 7-pin. You know, which one goes where, which one's supposed to do what, which size gauge wire do I use. So it's kind of worked out for me to offer that as one of my main services, is electrical and lighting. If you guys need something like that and you're in California, I'm in the Ontario area. So you can get a hold of me through my social media on Instagram. But what this customer did was he was kind of on the right track. He ran a new 7-pin harness. I don't know if you can see it pinned up on the frame rail, and then you can see it's coiled up back there. Basically, his idea was that you run it all the way to the back, and then you basically skin it back and run it to the lights or whatever. You kind of do, but what we're going to have to do is we'll have to break down the harness into a junction box, and then we'll be able to come out of the junction box and run our individual harnesses, so that way you have a wire that'll break off down to your brakes without having to peel into that sheeting that's on the 7-pin. It's kind of hard to strip back. So what we'll do is we'll come up here to the front. I'll show you. You can see he's got his 7-pin ran right here, obviously a little long, so we'll figure out the exact length that it needs to be, and then somewhere in here along the frame we'll probably pull this box off, and then we'll put his junction box. He also wants to do an electronic battery breakaway, so I'll show you how we wire all that into the system and get everything to work. And then clean up. We'll cut this old trailer jack off, cut that off for him, remount his box. And we'll get this light wired in. We're going to add a couple of side lights on both sides as well. So the first thing we're probably going to want to do to get set up on this is probably remove the old stuff that he has, or new wiring, but we'll call it old. All of the old electrical, anything that's in there running along the back, you can kind of see coming out of those tail lights. All of that wiring running across that's kind of connecting everything's going to get pulled off and rewired. The wiring running across the roof's going to get redone. We're not going to mess with any of his solar or his inverter. Any of that stuff wasn't on the work order. And he didn't mention nothing, so I can ask him about it once we get everything we know we're supposed to be doing done. So I guess I'll grab some tools, and I'll get my drill. We'll start unpinning that old wiring and get it pulled all the way back out to the front. I got to order his new electric breakaway kit and get that coming right away. And then we'll have to see if we're going to do a junction box or... Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking we're going to have to do a junction box no matter what, guys, because we're going to want to be able to split off right up at the front for his electric breakaway safety switch. So no big deal. We've done a million of them. Let's go ahead and get all the stuff we need together. And next time you guys see me, we'll be in full force working on this bad boy, get it wrapped up. We've only got 2 days to get it done. Hopefully that's enough. It's Tuesday afternoon right now. He's picking it up on Friday. So a couple days there. Let's do it. What's up, guys? How's it going? Got the Ray-Ban Meta glasses on, so if you hear me talking to them, don't freak out. Just getting some tools set up. Got our little table set up here. Here's some of the new lights we're going to be putting in. obviously rear tail lights, and then we want to add these lights up on the roof here. He wants to add these yellow ones in the back, which is fine. I think we could have did the red in the back, but you know what? He already has red there, red here. If he wants an orange one there, yellow, whatever you want to call it, that's fine. Then we're going to put another one up here on both sides, obviously. So 2 side markers will go up, new tail lights, and then we'll wire in everything that's there. We already talked about removing these wire loom tie down points. So we'll jump up in there right now, unscrew a couple of those. We're waiting on parts right now. We need the front junction box and the battery breakaway. So as soon as that stuff shows up today, we can jump to the 7-pin setup and get all that spliced and everything, guys. But for right now, we're gonna get our DeWalt bit put in our Milwaukee Chingus and get going on it here. I'm gonna try and get you guys in the best spot as possible, but for now that'll probably work out. Grab our bit here. I like this little DeWalt kit. Dude, it was only like $10, and it has all your pretty standard stuff. I like these. I'm going to be doing a Harbor Freight tool review too soon. I just got some new bits from them. This will be in the review, and I'll explain to you guys why I keep buying this super cheap thing of drill bits. So, all right, let's jump in here. See if we can get a couple of these unscrewed. It's nice that he has this floor removed. It's going to make it really easy for us to do our electrical along here. Normally, everything you see me doing right now would be from underneath. So it'd be kind of a lot more action. So we're going to kind of catwalk in here. Hopefully you guys can see me back there. I guess I can bring the camera in a little closer, but I'm only going to unzip a couple of these. I just want to see. Oh, look at that. It's just enough to where the drill will get stuck in there. I got to drop down a little bit. There it goes. So we'll actually probably go back with these same points if we can. Pick up the screws as I go, but we'll probably go back with these same spots going all the way down so that less holes to drill. A lot less holes to drill, and then the little bit of work is already done for us. So let me bring you guys in here, show you what's going on. See, there's just these little tie down points. These don't look like the best ones in the world. They look kind of like thin. They look a little smashed in there. You know what it is? They're just the wrong size. They could have been the next size up. So when we put them back in, we'll make sure we put the right correct size one. So it'll hold the wire real good, but it won't pinch it. Because if you look up close, it could pinch it and it'll actually get into the wire loom a little bit. So dive in here. All right. Make sure we pick up all the screws as we go. I got to set the camera down. So let's see. I'll get you guys. I guess just set up from here. Hey, Meta, start recording. So I did notice sometimes I'll jump over to this view for you guys, and other times you'll be viewing more of like a third-party view, and that's going to be the GoPro. So that's why the screen gets a little bit smaller. I don't think these record in the 16.9 aspect ratio, but we're trying it out for this video. Hopefully it works out okay. So I got quite a few of these to remove. That's all we're really doing. Let's just jump back in here and keep going on it. This kind of stuff can be pretty quick. These screws get a little stuck in there, but what I want to do is I'm going to get all of these out. Get this loom taken off of here, or this wire pack, whatever you want to call it. Get the wire removed, and then we'll jump to the roof lights, mount the roof lights, and then start wiring in all of the roof halo so that so yeah, we can have a lot of the halo done, have that side done, this side done coming down to the back, and then basically this side will split and tie in, so it'll be two separate harnesses coming down for right and left. It makes it really easy. So it'll be come out of the junction box, down, down, down. Once it splits out for electric brakes, we'll split over to this side, and then this one will continue straight back. It'll make sense when we get into it, guys. So let me remove the rest of these, and then we'll jump up onto the roof lights and start mounting those. We'll get on that. What I'm gonna do is go up here and measure out how far this spring hanger's at. You know, these things are super dangerous. They're under a lot of tension and a lot of load. This size door and the weight of this door should have two springs. So I'll tell him that's something he might want to upgrade to in the future. I think you can just add in off of the back side of this one, and then these bolts hold both flanges on both sides. I'm not sure. I haven't had to do a whole ton of those. So if we come out of the back, off the back here out, we can see we're at least 8 inches. So we'll do the start of the light at 9 because he wants it as close to the back as possible. I mean, I do have enough room theoretically to get behind here, but see, you got this action and everything. I still think, yeah, at about 9 inches will be the best for us. So, all right, now we'll transfer that to the outside of the trailer. Let me get you guys set up so you can see where I'm at here. Boom. Okay, there you go right there. I'm working on a new GoPro stand so I can get you guys up in the air a little bit higher, but we will have our point of view glasses here that should hopefully help. Hopefully jumping back and forth has been a good thing. So what I'm going to do is I'll come here, measure my 9 inches out, and that'll give us our first hole, and we'll be up in this slot here. So let me get my tape. Leave that bad boy right there. Let's get the tape measure. Let's get the light. Let's get possibly even a piece of tape to help hold it. Okay, so we're up here. I got some tape. I got the light. I got the drill. Let's roughly see where we're at. Say about right in there. 9 inches. It's basically where we're going to want to be, guys. And if you look, it lines up with this bolt here. Real close. So that'll be kind of our mark. I could grab a Sharpie. But let's see here real quick. I need to figure out for where these two are going to go in, basically like that. Then what we'll want to do is drill a hole here so this electrical can go through. And then it looks like if we go right in the middle, that should be a good spot for it. We can go all the way up here, I guess. You know what? That might be better because this is a little bit more room. I don't want to pinch it between this gap. I don't know if you guys can see down what I'm talking about. We'll go on the hump instead of the dent side. So that'll be better. Let me go look inside. Can we see in there? Yeah, it looks like we'll be all right because there's only a 1-inch piece of steel coming down. So we know and that's from all the way at the top. That's probably what this is all screwed into. So yeah, anywhere in here will be fine, guys. So let's go with that. Let me grab a marker and a level. See if this trailer's even close to being level. Dude, I go to the Dollar Tree and I pick up these permanent markers. I think you get like a 2 or 3 pack for obviously $1.25, $1.50. No more than that, and they work really good. I've been really happy with them since I started using them on that last big trailer we just did. So let's just, for shits and giggles, see how far off this trailer is from low. It's actually not bad. Huh. Let me go drop the front down just a little bit and see if that'll change anything. Let's go over here real quick and see. Vevor. I like their products. Oh, yeah, dog. You got a little bit more. Little tiny bit more, man. Vevor. If you haven't been on that site, go on Vevor.com. They sell some really cool stuff. I'd never seen their trailer jack. It's nice. It's really nice. We'll look more at it because we got to cut this one off. He doesn't want that on there anyway, so we'll look more at that product. But they have a magnet drill that I want to get. Yeah, that's pretty level right there. So basically what that'll do for me is when I'm looking at this light, like let's say, where were we? 9-inch, I believe, was that bolt there. So what I like to do is there's that little window right there. I'm trying to get in there. See that? See the black mark? And then that's going to basically tell us the story. Once those wires pop through, that'll tell us the story on the rest of the light. Because if you don't do that, what'll sometimes happen is you'll screw, like say you have that in and then you start jamming this all around. You don't want to end up pushing the wires and getting them pinched into the sheet metal right here. And you don't really have room to run grommets and all that. So we're going to drill our hole through, put the wires through, and then that's where we want our light to be. Know what I'm saying? Shouldn't be too difficult, hopefully. But you never know, bud. Now, do we like how low that is? Yeah. That's probably going to be perfect, my dude. And then real quick, measure before you drill. Which tells me 9 was, yeah, that one right there. So we're all the way to there. Makes sense to me. There you go. There's the hole for the electrical. Once we get the electrical all the way installed here, I'll show you that. Okay, come on, dude. Is this your first time doing this? Could be. Might have to go inside and deburr the wood a little bit. But see how like that'll just land right there, for example, boom. If you don't kind of pre-mark that hole and say you pre-mark or drill these or whatever the case is, sometimes it won't line up good for you is what I'm going to say. Just try and do this hole first. This will be your checkpoint. You don't want to pull these over that way or push these over that way because you will cut the wire. So like right there, that's basically just in there loose. See, I don't really have a lot of room to put the level on there and do all that. But okay. Like, I mean, see, the light's not, so yeah, you get it. But what is nice is we have this checkpoint line here, and anything you install, if it's straight by eye, it'll be straight to the real world. Another thing we could do is we could measure here to here, here to here. We don't know if that's straight or bent or anything. This LED strip they have there, not sure what's going on with that. It's crooked. So as long as our light looks pretty good, I know our marker's not going to fit down in there. So we're probably just going to go ahead and, as long as my wire's not being pulled side to side, it looks nice and straight. That's pretty much going to be where it's going to be. See that? So really you got to at some point just make the decision and go for it. So pull this out. I got to jump down. That probably actually would hold itself in there. And it's nice because there's a sheet of plywood right behind it. So it's not riding on just this little sheet metal or whatever. Let me grab a couple bolts. Oh, look at this. He came prepped. So then what I would say to do is get this in here. Okay. Now's when you could put your little piece of tape on there, because that'll kind of help hold it, you know. In theory, it might help. Boom. We don't know. All right, so let's see. That bolt's there. That's kind of looking like something. Let me come up another step if we can. Whoa, dude, take it. See, this LED strip makes the light look really crooked. But, yeah. Right in there, you can kind of see where the bull nose is. That's all I'm going to look for. I'm not going to go over this on every single one. I just kind of wanted to show you guys what I'm looking at. You know, we know we're not 100% level, but we're pretty close. So then I would bring up my drill. Bring up the drill. And then now we can kind of just say that's where it's going to go. You're thinking, damn, dude, that thing was moving around all over the place. There ain't no way that light's straight. Bruh, please. Shit. All right, so then with the tape being there, everything being what it is, we can go to the inside and see how long our threads are. Check out some lock nuts and washers, and then leave that just like that. Jump to the front, do that one, do the other two, and all of the roof lighting install will be done. That wasn't too difficult, really. I mean, leave the drill there for a second. Let's find out here real quick if our threads are even long enough. Bring you guys in here. Hey Meta, stop recording. Sorry guys, you guys are gonna have to get used to hearing Meta, okay? Alright, let's see. See that? So actually, that looks like it's gonna be perfect. Because by the time you put a little lock washer on there, and then that'll keep it any longer. You don't want it to stick out past this, because when they put their paneling back on, they'll get into it. So that's perfect. Those are going to work out great. Big washer first, then lock washer, then nut, or big washer and lock nut. But lock nut, excuse me, a little bit more difficult to put on, because it's really going to want to spin that outside bolt. And if you can't reach it, like here, we could probably reach around and get these, hold them, you know. But the ones in the front, that might be a different story, so we'll have to see. All right, so let's go find the appropriate washers, and we'll bolt that on and take a look at the first one installed. And then see all this, I'll make sure I pull it back out, get this wood deburred away from our electrical. What I'll do then, guys, and I'll show you, but I'm going to slide a piece of heat shrink on here the first, inch or whatever, maybe a little more, so that it comes through that hole with a little bit of heat shrink. I should have done that, kind of slipped my mind, but hey, better now than never. All right, let's do it. All right, guys, we're going to drop this bad boy in here. See if this might help us out a little bit. Hello. Okay. All right. So here's what I've come up with. I'm going to see if we can use these big fender washers here. See, I might have to reach around and hold it from this side, which is kind of nice. See, they're a little sloppy on there, but not bad. So that'll work, and then we'll go up in size with these washers. Let me throw the next size on there just to make sure. I might have to step up 2 times, and you're probably thinking, dude, that's so much hardware for one. But you know what? You got to figure these lights are going to get installed behind this paneling, and it's probably never going to want to take the paneling back down. So if the screws start getting loose, or the self-tappers, or whatever, say the wood swells and the little tiny washer doesn't say stay flat forever or whatever, we're just trying to make it to where it'll be like a more of a long-term fix install. See, that little lock washer works really good. Then we've got this nut that'll go on last. I've got so much other stuff in my hands. Let me set it down real quick. This is just a mock-up because we still got to put the heat shrink on the wiring. Okay. So, yep. So that's going to be our combo we're going to go with right there. Fender washer, small washer, lock washer, nut. And that'll be sweet. Now we can get that down relatively tight, and it's never going to come loose on him. Let me grab a piece of heat shrink. We'll throw it on this wire and heat shrink that on, and then final install these and move down the line. Another one of the things I like to pick up at Harbor Freight, guys, is this marine heat shrink tubing assortment. Why is it marine? Because when you heat it up, it has an adhesive lining. So basically it has a glue coat on the inside. You can kind of see it shiny in there. I like that for 2 reasons. These don't come smashed flat like standard heat shrink in a roll, so where you're constantly having to fight the crease. So these are a lot more rigid. They're easier to slide on. And then once you heat shrink them, the glue actually will come out and seals both ends of them. Now, a lot of people will get on me about my wiring and stuff that I do because I don't like to do soldering. It's a waste of time for me. I'm not doing a circuit board. I'm not doing a computer. If it's a boat trailer and it's backing underwater, I can guarantee you my lights will last just as long as somebody that sits there and solders them and has the plastic style connectors. I use heat shrinkable butt connectors, and then we do heat shrink over each connector. So basically the wire connection itself is sealed twice, because even though they're heat shrinkable butt connectors, sometimes what'll happen is when you crimp it, you'll actually puncture the heat shrinkable connector a little bit, and then that's where water could potentially get in. So then I just throw an additional heat shrink over it on the outside. I mean, wiring is not meant to be something that just goes super quick. You can see lots of examples of wiring that goes super quick out there, and it looks like shit. Doesn't last. It's okay if you're just getting something put together so you could get home or whatever the case is, but in the real world, you're going to want to do it right and at least double heat shrink it. The heat shrinkable connector, which I like because the plastic type, they're bulky, they're open-ended. It doesn't secure the wire into the connector. I don't know. There's just a lot of things about them I'm not a big fan of. Pull these off. Get rid of them. Put these together. Twisty twist one time. See if that'll be all right. Oh, I'm going to have to get a bigger heat shrink for these guys. Let's see. Yeah, it'd be okay if it was just going to go a short distance. That's all right. Let me grab the neck. Another thing about this kit is I think it's like $5 or $6. So what I did is I bought like 3 or 4 of them and I combined them. That's why there's a lot more in here. I think this is only 2 kits, maybe 3 combined at max. So I have a few extras over there in my toolbox. See, so this will slide all the way on there. We'll heat shrink it on, and then when this comes through the trailer, now it'll be protected. It's a little long. We only need it to be probably half of that. So let me jump up here. Jump back up here, see what we can do. So I've cut this one down to size, I guess to length. Let's throw this on here. I was telling you guys in the last video, this neighborhood's very active. Like, the people across the street have a lot of toys and stuff. They're a retired couple. Then the other neighbor has a ton of action going on all the time. So see, what I like to do, I love these little torches. Once you learn how to use them and move quick, you won't burn your wire. You won't burn none of your stuff. If you get a little char on the wire, like you're not going to burn through all the way and melt it to death. A heat gun, I just bought a new heat gun, guys, and that'll be more for like the sitting down at the bench, building out like a harness, stuff like that. That's where I'm going to be there for a while. Might not want to run the torch all day. So let's fish this back through there. Ooh. She's snug. We might have to go on the inside and pull it all the way in. Okay. It's pretty snug right there. Let's see if we can reach it. We're getting lucky on this. This is a good example only because I can reach all the way inside and grab it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be as easy to show you guys. But at least you'll get the idea of what I'm going to do on the ones that I fast forward, so you're not stuck here all day watching me install this light. Boom, throw our bolts back in. Just like that. For the hell of it. Throw the tape back on it. Let's kind of hold it up there for us. Now we can jump back to the inside, install all the hardware. Tighten that up. Getting a lot of stuff here. So let's jump back inside. Okay, so back up inside the trailer. You can see here the still got a little bit of wood poking in it. Poking at it a little bit, but now we've got this heat shrink on here. Now these wires, they're durable now. We can peel off and go that way, this way, come up, hit a ground, whatever it's going to be. So that works out good. One thing I didn't think about is that big fender washer, if it's going to be too big for our gap here. So let me grab it out of my pocket and we'll take a look at that real quick. Yeah, it looks like it might be. So it's super close. So I'm going to have to just notch that. Let me throw this side together real quick. We'll go back with that same combo. $8mm. So we went big washer, a little bit smaller washer right there. And then there you go. And again, if you buy the little kits that I'm showing you guys at Harbor Freight, it makes all of this stuff affordable because you can get that whole box for like $5. So you'll literally be wiring up and doing your light plates and all this nice stuff. These fender washers, we've had a coffee can full of those for 15, 20 years. So that's why I have those. But you can source fender washers on Amazon for probably pretty cheap. I've never looked into that. I'm going to do that actually. Maybe they have other sizes. I won't have to do the second washer. So let me get the one I have in my pocket notched for that. Looks like, yeah, we'll just take a little bit out of the one side so this will fly on there. We'll go from there, guys. Stay tuned. So I have a bunch of different tool reviews coming up that I've been waiting to do, and one of them is the knockoff Milwaukee batteries. Let's see, I'm surprised I don't have one right here somewhere, but nonetheless, I have it around here, and I think it's up on our drill up there, but I'm going to do a review on them now that I've been using them for about 3 months and tell you how they're doing and price and all that kind of stuff. For this, I'm going to go ahead and just take this grinder. We're just going to kind of grind a nice flat spot on this one side here, and that should be enough clearance. Man, that just ate it up. Another review I have is these wheels. Man, I got such a good deal on these wheels. Almost $1 a piece, and they work really good. So let's run this up in there. It might be a little warm, dude. Might be a little warm. Not bad, actually. All right, let's see how this looks now. Hello, hello. So that'll be perfect, guys. Really didn't want to do that, but I sure as hell didn't want to leave them up in here. I've left a pair of pliers one time, and I'll never do it again. Okay, I lost all my other washers. There's that. Throw these on. You could probably hear a diesel truck running out there. Yeah, my neighbor, he's... Oh, man, it's all another story. He's a good guy, you know. Has a lot going on. Constantly always moving stuff in and out on trailers like his own personal stuff. So, okay, rotate the washer so that it doesn't shear off the wiring. All right, right in there. So then once we tighten that up, I'll just make sure that it doesn't come down and hit right there. So let's get these tightened up. 8mm. All right, see that? Like magic. We're already set up, ready to rock and roll for y'all. Let's see. It's going to be that way. And I'm talking like just tight enough. Ugh. Okay, hold on. I know. That feels pretty tight. Like I said, I don't like to overdo them. Let's go out here and see, make sure it's not distorting nothing. Oh, they're tight. Perfect. We can grab the plastic cover and make sure that it snaps back on there, but we should be good. I mean, the lock washer, let me see if I can get that to tighten down all the way. Yeah, see, that's still a little loose for me. There she go. Okay. This one. You don't want to overdo it because it'll start to collapse the little housing. There you go. Once the lock washers are crushed down, that's solid. That thing kind of just sits in there. It's separate from the... Whoop, careful. All right, that'll do it for this one. Now with the electrical, we'll just probably come up, hit a ground. Because, see, they're not going to put screws or anything right here. They'll be hitting these seams and whatever hitting these as they come up. They'll never be able to get here or probably even here. They're probably going to have to stop their boards and then do one of those angle pieces that you see. So that'll work for this. We'll come back to when we're tying in the electrical so I can show you guys how I do all my connectors with the double heat shrink. Let me jump forward now and bang out the rest of them. I'll meet you guys when we get to this light, and then I'll probably jump in and show you a little bit of how it's going in the front as well, and then we'll move forward in this video. I'm probably not going to get all the way into the 7-pin until the next video. So this is just going to be the roof lighting and then wiring in the halo and getting everything ran down to where it can be tied into the bottom. So stay tuned for that, guys. All right, guys, inside looking at it here, I'm definitely going to just ground in place. So basically ground this to the any of these bars in here like that with an eyelet. And then just route power coming across. It's going to be way less connections, way faster. We'll shoot across and pick up that side. We'll bring this one up, ground it in place, bring it up, connect with those, come across. And then what I think I might even do, instead of routing it all the way back, I might just drop down, come over and jump into the 7-way box on the accessory running light, or just tag into the wires coming out right here, splice out and keep going. That way there's less wires running along. He won't have to worry about drilling into anything across here. So that might be a better idea. All right, well, let's get to work then. Let's do it. Guys, check it out. So we're working on the lights in here. I want to show you guys my process that I do for our little grounding terminal and basically what it is. Here's our little terminal. We're going to self-ground in place, so it'll tap into the trailer frame here. But what I like to do is kind of twist the wires together. Don't get too crazy, but just twist them together. And then I like to take and bend it in half like that. So it kind of makes the wire a little bit thicker at the end here. And it puts a little bit of a bull nose on this end so that when you slide this connector on here, let's see, it fits a little bit more snug. Another thing I want to show you with these connectors, I see them crimped on stuff all the time incorrectly. If you look on this connector, there's a little split on the top, which is the bigger side. This is actually the bottom of the connector. Well, where that little split is at, that's where you want the rounded part of your crimps to be, because that will keep those two things in place as this barb comes in from the back and presses them up into that round. If you do it the other way, you'll only crimp half of this connector and the connector will be loose. So let's just keep that in mind. If that makes sense or not, I'm not sure. So like that's wrong. Flip it around. You got the splice to the inside of the rounded part. See the slit in the roundy part. Slide this on here. Crimp it. All right, crimp that down. Give it a little tug. That's good there. For inside the trailer, I'm not going to worry about double heat shrink, because these will shrink up pretty good. Hit one side, jump to this side. You'll see it melt down on there. See that? Now, while that cools, I'll jump around and do all the other ones, and then I'll show you how we mount them. All right, I went around and got all of the other lights in the front section here caught up to this. To this point. Sorry about that. What we'll do is I'll go ahead and get this up in here in place, and I'm going to try and self-tap. Let's see. We're going to try and screw this in here. Okay. Ooh. And I just go real easy till the gun stops and I know it's torqued down. And now that's good to go right there. Now the power can come out, kind of come around, pick this one up and go across. This one will bring up. So this one's already done, guys. It's already been screwed in up underneath. I've already done them all. Now that power can come up here. These can come down. They can get together and come across behind this board, or I'll bring them all the way up here, and that way I can fasten it in as we go across. But that'll be the same process for back there as far as grounding them. When we do the 7-way in video 2, the front 7-way junction box, I'll show you the big ground cable and everything to why this works and why sometimes it doesn't work. Because you can go through all this, and if the trailer's not grounded, that won't work. So whatever your power source is, the trailer has to be grounded to the same thing it's grounded to. All right, so let's continue. We'll run the power and get wrapped up here. All right, guys, I'm going to start kind of getting into this. I don't really have a strategic game plan. I'm just going to kind of get some of this power. This is 18 gauge, so it's more than enough for what we got. I think that's like 20 gauge that they come with, the lights. This is the old power here for this light, so we'll just kind of say good night. And then we'll be using these butt connectors here, very similar to the eyelet ones. The only difference is these don't have a splice, so you can crimp them any way they land inside the crimpers. So here I'm just going to basically twist this up again. Same process. I am going to trim it a little bit. They're a little long, man. They ship these things probably like right there. If you want that measurement, it ain't happening now. So then see, we're going to fold that over again. Kind of get it like that. Looks pretty good. I like to preload the butt connector and the pliers. Like this. Kind of get it in between. There's like a little dimple. You can see where it needs to be. Kind of preload it in there. Crimp it down. Check it. There you go. Now for this side, strip this. I know everybody's telling me to run those auto strippers. They are pretty cool. They're just kind of big and bulky. This is a nice Noble wire supply made in the US. They use a really nice wire. It's a little bit thicker. Like when they say 18 gauge, it's definitely 18. So you don't really need to fold this one back. We'll put it in there. But before I do, I'm going to slide a piece of heat shrink on here. I kind of wanted to show you guys that anyway. What I was talking about, the double heat shrink. So we'll use this as a sample. I'm for sure going to do it on all of the rear tail lights back there, because they'll have, you know, exposure to water, whatever. So let's grab our pliers again. Sorry, I keep putting everything back in my pocket so I don't lose it. All right, let's preload this. There. Okay, get that in there where you want it. Crimp it down. See, so really, if you were going to be soldering all of this, you would be doing like where they loop the wire together and then they put solder on it, or they do the twist connectors and they solder it from the back. I mean, I don't know. That just isn't the way I like to do it. So anyway, after you heat shrink that on there, let that kind of cool for a minute. You can see what it makes a real nice connection. slide this up, and see, these come longer. I just cut them in half so you can get kind of 2 out of 1. Just want to kind of feel, make sure it's long enough. Then just kind of start at one end, move quick, because it is a torch. We should or could be using a heat gun. I've gotten really used to using this. There you go. I mean, the wire's pretty small, but you can see it. It shrinks down there. It'll get it. And you heat it up, it has that glue in there. If you guys can see that or not. And that's how we'll do all of our connections. So then when the customer sees it, you know, or say the roof leaks or whatever, there's no water seeping into that. Now what we got to figure out is running it up so that we can go and pick up that next light, you know, kind of running this up. So what I'll probably do is just leave a little slack in this, like a bubble. Actually, you know what? We'll kind of get it where that's right there. So that's protected. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use some of this loom after all. So I'm just measuring out roughly what I need to cut. About to right there. It's a little bigger than I would like to use, honestly, but it's what I have right now. We're going to do a quick material run in the morning before we get started. Because basically once I finish up this side tonight, I'm going to do the exact same thing to the back. And then what I'm going to show you guys next after the front is going to basically be how the final everything turned out on that. And then we'll be showing you how it's going to tie in down here, because I'm still kind of racking my brain on how I want to do the 7-way setup. So for now, just keep trucking on this. Believe it or not, still same day 1. We're working on getting this whipped out here. I think it's going to work out good going up this seam right here, because even if they do siding, they can have a gap there, and they could even do like a caulking or a sealer or something. Let's see if this will pop out for us. Should have plenty of room in there, bud. Okay. So then basically take the twist out of it as much as possible. Boom. So that'll kind of dead in there. I could go cut all this loose and go all the way over, but I think it's going to work out with this just more or less going to be kind of like in there like that. You know what? The more I look at that, though, I think I am going to cut that loose and do that, bud. Let that be our starting point. Okay, you guys convinced me. You know what? Sometimes you just got to do. The guy wanted a quick job. I quoted him still typically what I do these for, but I always end up doing all this extra detail stuff. But at the end of the day, that's what I want to do. I like to do it. Let's grab another one of these cable ties. Here's what these are, if you guys were wondering. Probably could get the neck size down on these as well, just for the smaller stuff. That needs to be like that, so that's going to wrap around. Believe me. Once you install like 10 of them wrong, see, I just did that. Whew, I got lucky because it's going to go that way. That's got to be like that, bud. See? I don't know what I'd do without you guys, bro. All right, let's see. Okay, hold that. There you go, right there. So see how that's looking coming up? Looks really clean. It'll be out of the way. They won't be nailing here or here. So this will be their stopping point when they do their finish work. And then obviously coming this way, it can dang near butt up pretty tight. So I like the way that looks. Now let me get you guys kind of caught up on what's going on. So since we're running power from there, so if you were starting, okay, you realize, all right, we grounded our light. We're bringing that light up here. Our next light is right here. This style light grounds through the bolts. Oh, little spider. Grounds through the bolts, through the steel of the trailer. So it's also self-grounding. It's just another way of doing it. That's an old school style light. I still see it quite a bit. So all we theoretically have to do, since we're grounded here on this one, is bring this one over, tie in with this one, then tie into this one and have one coming out. That's it. Now you're thinking, well, okay, how do you do all that? And that's what we're going to show you next. So let me measure and kind of see what I need to do to tie in. So I know for sure I can get these two to come together. How far apart is this? So it looks like I'm going to have to add a splice to this and just extend it over. Kind of is what it is. Let's see, how can we do that? What I'll probably do then is extend it to where these two can meet up on one end of the butt connector, and then coming out of the back side will be this one and the one that has to go across, and that's how we'll do it. And then hopefully we can screw into this, or maybe just have to go into this going all the way across. We'll have to figure that out when we get to it. So let me get a connector in here, extend this wire down to meet this wire, kind of along this length like that. Boom, boom. See, so with that, we'll probably want to route up and kind of come around. A lot of detail work goes into this. It's so easy to just throw hack wiring in this, but I mean, you know, it's for a customer and I want it to look good and last forever. So that'll continue up. I can put another piece on here. Let's see. Yeah, we could probably do that. Put another piece. Okay, so up here on this, I want to extend this wire. So basically, this will just be, if you were trying to do 2 into 1, you basically put them together like this, wrap them around. This one, since we're just extending it, we're just going to extend it with a standard butt connector here. Let's see, I might need to trim that a little bit. Could strip that one and double it back. That one wasn't as long for some reason, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, what am I doing? I'm supposed to be trimming it, you guys. Okay, it's getting late. See, we all make mistakes, bro. Let's see if that's gonna be all right. Should be good. All right. Yeah, that's nice and tight. I can preload this, bring it up. Now, if like I were to do that and I feel that it's still loose in there, no, it took a good bite. If it was loose in there, then I would take that apart and I would actually double that up like we did on the other ones. But these lights, surprisingly, I don't know where he got them. They actually have a little bit thicker wire. Some of them come, you should see it. It's like not even, it's non-existent. All right, so we'll get a piece of heat shrink on that. Blast this real quick. Boom. If you hold that on there too long, it will burn it. Obviously, it's a torch, but still, I find this to be like the fastest, dude. Okay, watch your elbow. It will get hit. Slide a piece of this on here for now. That cooled down enough. Should be. Bam. Like the sound effects or what? Let's see. Alright. So now that's good to go. So that'll come down now. We can route that up there like that if we need to. Kind of, that's the best out of the way we can get it, which we know is safe because your wood can't go up past this, and it's only going to come over so far, so they'll have that gap there. You got to think about that. And then as this comes down over like this. Okay, so I put a little extension piece of this wire loom on here and basically pinched the one that was already on there and then just kind of like threaded this one on, if you will. I'm going to put this over it right on the overlap, hopefully, like that. All right, so now we know we can't get our drill in here, but we can get it in here, so that'll work out right there. And then we'll probably end up sticking one more right there if we can get the drill up there, but we'll leave this loose for now. Let me get that first one in. Get a screw out of my pocket now. Dang. That's a giant screw. Let me try that again. I got all the material in my pocket, guys. What do you think? Not looking good. Okay, that was our last screw. We'll just have to run it, bud. Go stock up here in a second. Oh, there's another one. Imagine that. Okay. Okay. Woo! That motherfucker took a bite. That bad boy took a bite right there. Look at that. It's like we've done it before. A lot of people probably are going to want to use those latch over style connectors. It's where like basically they just lap over two wires and you press them down. I personally have had bad luck with those. I built a car trailer. When I first started doing it, had a real good job building out this car trailer. And I was like, cool, these are quick and easy. I'll just, you know, boom, boom, boom. Well, the problem is when you're doing a car trailer and like the brake wire's bigger than this wire and this and that, man, it turned into a nightmare trying to get those things to splice. So, no, yeah, I knew that. Didn't see that. On these, you really gotta twist them together really, really good. Like that. That in there, like that. See, that's why I like to try to preload the pliers when I can. So boom, I could have already been crimping on that without them sliding out. Just kind of slip this over. Make sure you're on the proper size. Apply pressure, push in at the same time. Oh, there it is, crimp, crimp. There you go, right there, guys. Those are in tight. So now, I'm dumb. This was never gonna work because it needed to be over both of them, but it's not a big deal. We'll just cut that off, and then I'll put a piece of this over this one because it's multi-wire, so not a big deal. Just kind of got ahead of myself there. See? Should I edit it out? Nah. Get that nice and hot. Come back this way. Bada bang, bada boom. And then what we'll have to do is just kind of figure out, we want a little slack left in that one. Something like that. And then we'll cut across all the way over. All right, let me get this cleaned up a little bit and I'll get you guys caught up. What's up, guys? Welcome back in. So I did end up finish pinning this up last night. It is the next morning. I had to run out and get some more of this wire loom, and we've attached it with cable ties running across here. But we ran into a little bit of a problem, and I want to get you guys caught up as to where we're at here. Basically, the only lights that we weren't changing out were these front two lights in the very front of the trailer. And believe it or not, I did some testing this morning. I thought, you know what, let me try them before I get too far into it, and then they don't work. And sure enough, both of those front lights are the old style that have the bulb, and they're both burned out. So what I did is I ran this cable here from my battery. I've got these little jumpers here. So what I'll do is I'll come over here. I made this cable up just for this purpose. And I'm only doing two because it makes it a little bit better connection. These are thin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect these here. And I want to show you how I tested them. So all I'm doing is running a power from my battery. I screwed in a ground right here to the frame. So that'll ground out the trailer frame. And then when you come out here, hook up this ground wire. And look up there. Unhook it. They shut off. See the one down there behind the ladder? So that's how I knew, okay, our lights are working, but not the two front ones. Let me come up here and I'll show you real quick. See, they're these style. So I ran real quick and got replacements. So that's where we're at on the video today. I'm going to throw in these two new lights, get those wired in, and then we'll see where we're at, guys. Stay tuned. So this morning, guys, I ran down to Harbor Freight and they had just stocked all their wire loom. So I bought a bunch of packs of wire loom. And then I just ran right now and had to go back there because I didn't know we needed these lights yet. I'm looking for a razor blade. Didn't know we were going to need these lights yet. So anyhow, I got a hold of the customer. He's like, yeah, please definitely replace them. You know, should have done that. Whatever the case is. No big deal. The only difference is on these lights, they're a little bit different as far as the housing is black and the orange lens on them is basically a little lighter orange. I'll show you that real quick. This packaging's something to be desired, isn't it? Okay, I guess I took the long way on that, but that's fine. See the difference on these? But in a pinch, it's going to work fine. What's nice is they're on the front, and they're the only ones on the front. So they're going to be kind of like their own deal, but they have the black housing. And then on this, it looks like it's also single wire. So these will be self-grounding through the mounting screws. So let's head over there and... All right. What are the chances that the new ones holes line up? I doubt it. So there's the old one, pretty roached out. Wow, look at that. All right. Got one here. Other one's in my pocket, guys. Let's see. Pretty good seal. Really good seal. Well, first problem you're going to have is the... but let's see if the holes are even close. Could we get lucky and this is one of the quickest changeouts ever? Nah. Really? I don't know. Let's see. Trying to find the screws. You wouldn't believe the amount of stuff I have in all these pockets right now. What do I do with them? Okay, I don't want to over tighten that, but it looks like it's going to be okay. I don't know if those original screws are going to be enough of a ground or not. It really doesn't take much. So let's hook that up real quick and then we'll test it with our battery before we move to the other side. Don't blow yourself up. No, I'm kidding. Virtually can't. I'm going to tighten this so we can walk up there and see. It's on. There you go. So now we can jump to that side. We'll wire this one in, jump to that side, and it'll be rocking and rolling. Cool. Okay, guys, this will be the final clip. You can see we got everything attached in here. What we ended up doing is tying in this side the same way we did that side. Brought it up from down there, that light, caught this light, came across. Then I'll take you to the back and show you. You can see we pinned it up going all the way down. Make sure I don't fall here. And then it comes out, terminates there. It catches all of the roof lights that go along the back here. Now, guys, that was a nightmare to wire that up in there. I mean, I literally had no room to get in here, but we managed to get it. You can see that's all tied in over there. We'll do a little bit of wire loom and cleanup, but that's basically it. So right now, this is where it's going to drop down and hit the electrical coming from the 7-pin connector. So let's take a look here. There you go. You can see all the lights are running. Side lights are all working. All the lights down here are all working, guys. So that's going to wrap up part 1. Part 2, we'll be doing the 7-pin connector and brake controller or a battery backup breakaway and all of that stuff. That'll be at the start of video number 2. So I'm going to walk around it one more time, guys. Check everything out. Like I said, that yellow wire is going to drop down now and tie into the left running light. And that will power up the entire upper halo, side lights, everything you see that's running right now. If I come up here, show you guys the front. You can see the front. There's the 2 lights we had to run and go get today. So those look good. I got to throw the plastic covers on those up on the top. But other than that, dude, we're rocking and rolling, guys. It turned out really good. They're really bright. Took a lot longer than we thought. Like I said, the rear lighting section was almost impossible to wire up. Then it took forever to route that all the way across there because he is going to solid sheet this. Then that back section probably took close to 3.5 hours just to wire all that. I had to pull out some of these lights. I had to pull some of these lights out and fix them because they weren't screwed in properly. So it turned into kind of a nightmare, guys, but it turned out good. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please come join me for part 2 when we do the 7-way and show you guys how the junction box and everything ties everything in, and you can have a nice clean setup and go from there. Thanks again, guys, and we'll see you on the next one. So stay tuned for that, and like, comment, subscribe. Thank you, guys. We're out of here.